At that young age, she is forced to take responsibility for a small child. Unfortunately, that child isn't even related to her. He's the son of their neighbors. The boy looks very ugly, and every time she sees him, she makes fun of him and says he looks like something called toffee, so she decides to name him Tofa. Despite that, she always takes care of him because his mother is never around and doesn't care about him, as she's always busy. As the days pass, both of them grow up together. Because of how much she cares for him, she becomes everything in his life. She's the one who teaches him everything, takes her allowance, and buys him whatever he wants. All of these memories get engraved in his mind, and he can never forget them. One day, Tofa goes to Jin crying and tells her that he's going to travel to Thailand with his mother. He decides to leave her a gift. It's one of his baby teeth, and he realizes that she's the only person he has. He gives it to her because he's afraid he might never come back. He keeps crying, saying he'll return to her one day, just so he can see her again and make her whole life happy, the way she made his life happy. She also gives him her music player and tells him, "Take this as a memory, so when you miss me, you can listen to music from it." Time passes, and after a long period, Tofa returns from Thailand, but he has completely changed 180 degrees. He has become a handsome young man in every sense of the word, famous, and every girl wishes he would talk to her. The first thing he thinks about when he comes back is calling Jin. He has become a very famous singer and has even changed his name to Arlen. On the other hand, Jin has also changed. She's working at a big company and is successful in her job. While she's sitting at work, she gets a call from her mother telling her that Tofa has returned from Thailand again and that he's going to live with her. She gets extremely upset and tells her friend about it. Her friend tells her, "Your boyfriend might leave you if he sees him living with you." Jin is convinced by her friend's words and becomes afraid of Tofa coming to live with her. She calls her mother, gets Tofa's number, and calls him. She still remembers him as being very ugly. She tells him that she doesn't want to see his face again and that she also doesn't agree to him living with her because she's in a relationship and is afraid her boyfriend will get upset if he sees him there. She talks harshly, saying she suffered a lot when she was young, humiliating him and hurting his feelings. But Tofa is extremely calm. He simply tells her that he misses her and that he really wants to see her. She hangs up on him abruptly because her boyfriend walks in. He starts talking to her and tells her that he wants to meet her that night because he has something important to say. Later, Jin meets her friends, who tell her they saw her boyfriend buying an engagement necklace. She says, "Of course, that's why he asked to meet me tonight. He must be planning to propose. Honestly, should I say yes or no? You know me." That night, she goes to meet him at the restaurant. The shock comes, dear viewer, when, before she can even speak, he asks her to break up. She's shocked by what she hears and begs him to stay together, but he leaves her. She sits there calmly, orders food, and eats normally, saying it doesn't matter to her because she's used to this. She starts remembering her past relationships. Her first boyfriend left her in high school and got together with her friend. The second boyfriend asked to break up and told her not to look at him because the moment of separation was too hard for him, that he could never be happy without her, and that he was leaving her against his will. She believed him so much that she followed him and watched him, only to find him happily eating grilled food, completely fine. Later, she even sees him meeting another girl and asking her to go to the movies with him. As for the third one, he claimed to love her, but his intentions weren't good. The moment she stood up to him, he left her immediately. Jin is shocked when she realizes that her ex-boyfriend left the restaurant without paying for the food he ordered, forcing her to pay. She calls him disgusting and says, honestly, he's filthy. She wonders why her luck with men is always so bad. As she's heading home, Tofa calls her again, reminding her of their memories. He tells her how much he misses her and how badly he wants to see her. He says he came back to Thailand mainly to be near her because he missed her so much, and that he also has a promise to her from when they were young, that he would return to her. She hangs up on him and goes to her boss's house, who is also her close friend. She tells him that her boyfriend left her and that she's upset and doesn't know what to do. He jokes with her, makes her forget her sadness, and she feels happy. She senses that he cares about her and thinks she might end up in a relationship with him soon. The next day at work, her friends tell her about a big concert for a very famous singer named Arlen. We all know that Arlen is Tofa, but she doesn't. When she goes to the concert, they see each other and are immediately drawn to one another, but neither of them realizes they are the same two people from the past. Jin then sees her friend approaching Arlen and trying to get close to him. Jin grabs the gift bag from her and pushes her away, saying, "Isn't it enough that you stole my high school days too?" She humiliates her completely. Arlen hears what she says about the bag and gets angry, telling her she's rude and disrespectful. She gets angry at him, leaves the concert, and walks away. Arlen then finds out her full name and realizes she's his childhood friend. friend. He runs after her to apologize, but can't catch her. Later, Arlen appears on a TV interview and announces in front of everyone that he came to Thailand specifically to meet the girl who taught him music when he was young, the girl because of whom he reached where he is today, but he still hasn't met her yet. After the interview, he goes to Jin's old house and remembers their childhood memories, including when she gave him the music player before he traveled so he'd always remember her. Jin's phone rings. It's a child calling her. She talks to him and tells him how unlucky she is, how she lost her boyfriend and her friend as well, then hangs up. She's surprised to find Arlen himself entering the cafe next to her house. She asks him if he's from the neighborhood, tells him how much she admires him, and honestly says, "You look like you're interested in me, since you followed me from the concert all the way here." He asks her if there's someone in her life, or if she's in a relationship. She tells him that there's no one who loves her. She leaves while holding a cup of lemonade on her way home. A child follows her all the way to her house and memorizes her door password. Jin was living alone. She enters the house and starts thinking about her boyfriend, holding the rings from all the lovers who left her before. Later, her friends come over to spend the night with her. Each one of them talks about her boyfriend and what he did for her, while Jin keeps remembering the necklace her friends said they saw her boyfriend buying. The next day, she finds out that her boyfriend has resigned from his job at the same company where she works. She goes to him and tells him, "Our breakup is one thing, and working together is another." He tells her that he can't stand seeing her in front of him, saying this very emotionally. She believes him naively, but suddenly, she finds Kiss coming to his house wearing the necklace. Jin completely loses control. She breaks the necklace, slaps her, and they start fighting. He arrives to take his girlfriend Kiss, but is shocked to find her fighting with Jin. Jin thinks the car outside belongs to Kiss and smashes it. He tries to explain that it's actually his car and tries to stop her, but it's too late. The car is already damaged. In the middle of the chaos, they both fall onto each other, their eyes locking. He tells her, "By the way, I'm going to report you to the police." She replies, "I'm injured too. Look, we're even." He takes her car keys in exchange for not calling the police. She asks him what he's going to do to her. He brings her medicine for her hands, but makes her pay for it as punishment, telling her that since childhood, he was taught that if someone does something wrong, they must be punished. He means her, but she doesn't understand and says that the person who taught him that is very stupid, unknowingly insulting herself. Later, she's shocked when Arlen, the famous star, asks her to go with him to the hotel. She says, "What's this? Are you into me?" She starts trying to look cute in front of him, but he tells her he just wants her to drive him to the hotel because his car is broken, and then leave. She feels embarrassed for jumping to conclusions. At home, she looks at all the rings left by her ex-lovers and tells herself, "Enough, I've had enough heartbreak." Then Tofa calls her. She tells him harshly that she doesn't want to see him, that he was a terrible friend, and that she doesn't want to know him anymore, but he keeps calling. From her words, Tofa realizes she's not at home, so he goes there and enters her house since he knows the password from following her earlier. He calls her and asks for one last thing, to describe the garden where they used to play as kids. She describes it to him, then goes there herself to tell him not to call her again. When she arrives, she's shocked to find Arlen himself in the garden. She asks him if an ugly-looking guy was there earlier. He says no, that he hasn't seen anyone. Suddenly, Arlen holds her hand and feeds her with his own hand. She's extremely surprised. He does this because he remembers that when they were kids, she used to feed him herself in that same garden. Later, Arlen calls her from an unfamiliar number and asks her to come see the car, saying it's still not the same, even after being fixed. When she arrives, he asks her to get in the car. He drives and stops by the sea, telling her to look at how the engine stops by itself, as if the car decided to stop so they could enjoy their time together. Standing by the sea, he tells her that he likes her. She asks how that's possible. When the first time they met, he called her aggressive and rude. He answers by hugging her. She doesn't resist at all. She's completely enjoying it, feeling that this is finally true love, the love she's been waiting for so long. She spends the whole night next to her phone, waiting for him to call, but she's happy for nothing. He never calls. Morning comes, and she's still next to the phone, wondering why her luck is always so bad. At the same time, Arlen is buying her some things from a store and sending them to her. When the delivery arrives and she doesn't know who sent it, Tofa calls her and tells her he sent the items. She asks him not to send her anything again and hangs up. She keeps thinking about Arlen and wonders why he still hasn't called. She tells herself that he's probably just a famous star who was playing with her feelings. At work, she sees her friends constantly receiving messages from their boyfriends. She keeps checking her phone, hoping Arlen will message her, but nothing happens. Meanwhile, Tofa is inside her house, cleaning it and leaving behind